there, Scorpio. This is Joy with Joy the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe button down below. It is free as always. And if you want to, ring that bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy the World, give us that big thumbs up, baby. Like and share. Share with your friends, your family, your frenemies, your enemies, your whoever and your whatever. Send them here for their energy sessions. Save your time and your energy and send your people here and let the energy work be done for you. And that gets that weight off your shoulders so you can tune in and turn up your shine, because you are fine, Scorpio. I love that you've been teaching us about all the eyes of alignment, not just our energy centers, but how they play out and connect into this world to facilitate our best, full, bright self. So thank you for that. Now, this week had a theme of hopes, dreams, and fears, and I was like, okay, what else? We're just going to roll with that. But it was coming out like the centralized X marks the spot type energy with you at the center. Tattoo Tarot is representing you, but yours, when I finished cleaning the decks after the last read, it just spilled and it landed. And I've learned to just leave it alone. When that happens, leave it be. Sometimes it's preparing energy in the space in between, and then they're cleared away later on, you know, kind of like an altar. But in this case, you're saying, yeah, we want to alter things. We were turning the tide. We're moving things forward and facilitating. So on my beach walk this morning, there was a message coming forth, and I thought, whose reading is next? And they said, Scorpio. And I said, So the main theme for you guys is divine order. To be able to just calm that spirit, to let those collarbones sit back, because baby, all sorts of good things happen when your collarbones come open. Just saying. It ain't the nether realms, it's these collarbones. So anyways, just sit back, relax your shoulders, let it open up, because it's all in divine order. You might have had a few mishaps or a few mistakes or missed opportunities that you're kind of like, that are working you a bit, even if you're kind of abstaining from engaging in the dialogue with it, is still trying to step forward into your present time. And no matter what I do, I'm being harassed by a card over here. See, this is the mighty deck that came out in the Magic Monday. Let me see what's happening. What are you trying to say? 31, solitude, alone but not lonely. Okay, so that's about the divine order. It had to do with relationships, connections, but there was a strengthening in the connection to yourself that was necessary first. That's why there was that bit of a misstep, that bobble, that like misplaced footing, the stumble, the clumsiness, the whatever, which I know most people don't see on the outside of you, but it is occurring internally. And they're saying that foible, just roll and move on. It's a creative expression of you coming into yourself. Time and space planned accordingly for that. So no, you didn't miss out. If it needs be, it'll come around. But if not, there is better. Better, better, better. Better like butter, baby. That's the sauce on here. So let's just smooth it on in nice and easy. And now with that, there's a back card that came in from the Magic Monday. And as you know, those are timeless reads. They're energy sessions. They're not, here's what's happening on Monday. It's whenever you tune in, okay? So just ignore the day on there. That's when you can count on them showing up. What was left from it is I filed this card away after that read, and when I began to clean and clear the deck, it came out again. And it's like, this is what's going on this week. So it's about finding out the underbelly, the power within, because this is a crostallion, some crostini, all that good stuff. But the underbelly, they told me throughout the week, is finally beginning to reveal the heart. Like our whole belly, our whole system here has to do with our heart connection. And when it's coming in like this, it's the whole self. Our divine connection into the shift of this new push into the air energy that we're actually in now. It's like the baby is already crowning and coming out. They were telling me, if you hadn't checked out, check out the Mercury retrograde reading, because that's what was happening. They said once Mercury turned into retrograde, it was like downhill, not downhill, but down the slide from there. We were just that baby's coming on out. It's going to be a little bit of labor, a little bit of push, a little bit of some what the hell is going on type energy, but the delivery is guaranteed. It's coming on out, and we're being facilitated into that new energy. But that was also having some lingering. You're talking very much about this Two of Cups. These two cards arrived from beneath my magic school bus here, my double-layered glass table, which I love to travel at with you guys. And it was about old conceptions of love. Like there's this new one coming in to replace the rejected, being lonely, being left out, waiting around for something that is passed you by. Okay? Interesting. All right. Now, yours is totally different. I don't know if you can see. Let me slide down into the room. So I will just bring it in as it goes along in the form and the fashion in which you needed it. So you're traveling back to go forward. You're having to remember something, Scorpio. They were telling me maybe it was in one of the reads from this past week about needing to step down from the 8-pointed star, which is the sun, down into the 6 because it was too far out of reach. Not too far out of reach for you. You were there, but there was no contact. There was no connection. And it was creating a lot of this, and this isn't where you're supposed to stay. It was just a turning point, okay? And not that you won't go back there again, because we are returning to the sun. Aqua Aquarius is about the dark coming into light, about no longer being a star out in the sky, but being a sun here on earth. So all that being said, you're returning to remember and to color your world with these new memories, that you have this new fresh perspective, this new understanding and alignment. Now with that, there's this is what's going to carry us through, because this symbol actually showed up on the beach this morning, okay? And this is protection. It's covering. It's more in the vein of like assurance, all right? And so here are the words that are in there, but I'll tell you which ones it's calling forth. There's challenges in the mirror, all right? Progress is certain. Control your emotions and gut instincts. Now, the thing that is really in concrete here is progress is certain. This going to remember isn't actually taking you one step forward, 2 steps back. It's actually like, when you get off the interstate, there's an off ramp. And where I live in the South, they take you away from where you're going to loop you right back in line straight to where you do want to go. Okay? So it's a bit like an off ramp, right? And trust your gut instincts with this. So don't be listening to the head. That's very much what you're saying here. Don't be listening to the head during this time. Okay? Be listening to your gut. Okay? Because underneath that, these are the new era tarot, and they're serving as our fears, and fears can be things that but they can also be guidelines, things that help channel us and move us that way, just like that off ramp, right? They guide us around exactly to where we're going. So they're just hallmarks, they're symbols, they're confirmations, resonance, that type of energy. So underneath that 7 of Cups is like, don't get all trapped up in your mind. Don't let that stuff kind of get in there and say, oh my God, am I forever going to be alone? Is this how it's always going to be? Is this how it always works out for me? I thought we've worked through this. I thought we got rid of that knee-jerk reaction, which some of you might have had it crop back up this last week. I know I did. And I was like, because we're the whole zodiac, right? So my dad's Scorpio, and I grew up with a very strong scorpionic energy in my home. But there was that knee-jerk reaction. I'm like, oh, really, really, really? And I thought it ruined everything. But life is saying, hey, Joy, because this is about me too. They're like, listen up, girlfriend. So I'm going to sit on the other side of that camera with you and take in this message as well. But for now, it's talking about bravery. Step into your heart. Get into your heart. Return to this underbelly, this quote stallion. The stallion is our power. The horse is our power, right? And this is very much about the Sagittarius North Node going on. Being able to revisit something in order to see what you left behind. Like one last check, like you do in a hotel room. You check under the beds, even though most of the beds go straight to the floor. And you look around one more time, even though you know that you know. But in that last bit, you're able to walk away knowing that key will never work again. Okay? All right. That you'll never be triggered like that again. Because that fire you want put out. That's not the fire that you want. So your bravery is you're going to snuff it out. You got to let it not catch on and continue. Because by not going back, it would consume everything. And it would always catch up with you and keep consuming and destructing and devouring these promises that it is that you seek, right? Because at the top on this half, this is the Tattoo Tarot. This is what has been your experience, the Death card. And now I'm not either here nor there with death. It's a process. It's a thing. It's like untimely death is the issue. And this was everlasting death. And that would be a freaking issue, wouldn't it? Everlasting death. I'm like, I'm a bitch thump that card. Sorry, y'all. Here, get your sweet revenge. For those of you who've been stuck in the mud, I'm bitch thumping that card. Eternal death? Hell no. Yeah, because when your head's cut off, your authority and your power's cut off, how do you ever get it back? How do you get your head back on? Forget Humpty Dumpty falling on the wall and breaking it in a bunch of pieces. You don't have your head. You don't have anything. You don't have control. You don't have control. Okay. So they're wanting you to operate from the power of your heart because there you do have control. That's why they're not wanting this mind to get to you, because this isn't your mind. Your mind's being restored. Okay, friend? Okay. And they're telling you to operate from the power of your heart because they say your heart is still good. All good in the neighborhood, baby. Trust it. Be bold. It might be a little off point here and there, but you'll be able to make the adjustments as you go in order to get through this to the other side. It's almost like having to pass through this fire, through this cloud, this shield of smoke, and that's going to serve as your protection, because that is like the fire of your emotions, the controlling your emotions. Okay, that's also why they want you to control your gut instincts, because remember the eyes that you've talked about aligning, that let your heart be in tune with your gut, not that mindset that's been placed on your shoulders for a time, because that mindset wearied you. It became an absolute burden. It left its mark on you. It left you desolate and homeless. All right. When you're cast out of your own body, you are homeless. That's the thing, y'all. We love a roof over our head. That is fantastic and fabulous. But if you aren't even in your own body, there is no hell like that on earth. That is eternal death. Something else is in charge. Who wants to live that way? Because if you're tuned in here, you're over 18, you're of age, you should be in the authority, the permission, the principle of self, being able to operate, navigate yourself, graduate from the school of life and begin living, right? Beginning to spin your wheel of fortune, being to master and to understand and become intimate with all the layers going on, all 12 signs moving around, and how they interplay with one another and converse with one another in the symphony of your life, okay? So underneath that 10 of Wands, the Mother of Earth, whoo, baby, sucked you dry, wore you out, aged you fine like wine. That's what we're going to say. Smooth out your rough edges, brought forth your fruitfulness, your depth, your body, and your perception. Now, you have paid a bit of a price for it, but there's some recovery coming in. There was some injury. That's why she's got this scarfing. It's like from that being beheaded here and this eternal death. Not wanting others to quite see what all it's been. But that's the thing. You're going to resurrect up into the eternal kingdom, into the royalty of the few that graduate from this school. Okay. Well, let's put a punctuation dot right there. And that's what she's saying. Through her eyes, she's communicating love and not to worry. Because worry is what is ceasing here. Worry is some of that trash and that debris left behind. Worry is the thing that was consuming and creating desolation in your world. Even beyond destruction, desolations, there's nothing left. There's this one deck that I have that in there's a Two of Pentacles, and just going through that back and forth has left everything desolate. It has cost you everything. Okay? So with that, we're going to step on over. Yeah, there we go. You're ready. We're going to step on over, but I want to get a shift point card in the imagination here for you guys, which, by the way, this was your hopes. They were bruised. They were ruined. They were taken. You were robbed. Okay? For some of you, you were robbed externally. Some of you were robbed internally. Either way, it sucked. So we're getting this transition point, this imagination, kicking on your imagination, returning that I to you, because that is here. That is your connection to the cosmos. Your trust in the divine love, that you are well loved, and also that you are well able. I see you right there. Okay.
Let me pop in here.
Hello! We got a gratuitous.
Barber did to my
Look
hair.
at this!
I mean, can you believe this?
My son, this is great. Yeah, so he did a little trimming here. I did a little trimming up there. Doesn't he look fine, y'all? All right. Thank you, son.
Go.
So the transition card of your imagination is 21. It is knowing that you are loved, that you are divine, that you are not left out in the cold, left alone, forever stripped, robbed, bare. It is none of that. You are about to be crowned with glory. Remember the few that graduate from this school, baby, accolades. It's like the whole kingdom of life opens unto you because you are worthy. Not deserving, worthy. You literally came through like by the skin of your teeth, and not even that. You have nothing but like these scars and these wrinkles and this desolation to show, and you're like, what do I have to show? My life looks like a wreck. And they're like, clean up. And you know what is going on here? That authority and power that knows to clean up is to clean up the skies, clean up the air around your mind. Oh, I love that, because I'm seeing that right here. Clean up the air around your mind and how you view yourself. Don't listen to that anymore. Remember, that's that old mindset, that accusation coming along to make you hang your head and to feel worthless and of no value because of the darkness that you have seen. This is a wolf that was wounded. This isn't a wound. This is one that was charred to ash and left for dead, but found a way to love itself and to life itself, to mother and father and parent itself. And this is a wolf of the feathers, a wolf of the spirit. Spirit walker. You're a spirit walker. You know what that means. It resonates inside of you. They're asking me, do not explain joy. So this transition card, which I will put it here for the moment, and it will be moving around, but it's about that victory, knowing that the victory is there. Because as soon as you begin to clear your air, you can do it with a bell. You can get sage up in there, but they don't want to. We don't, no smoke. If you don't have a bell, put a bell app on your phone. Just say ring a ring a ring around your house. Get a pot and a spoon. When that sound begins to clang and move out, it penetrates that vibration, clears the air, and it moves it through. It clears all energy, and it like deactivates it and calls it to fall down. What I know about smoke, which it's neither here nor there as to whether you like it or not, but when you're dealing with things like this where things need to be sifted and sorted and stuff needs to be left behind, sometimes under the shroud and cloud of smoke, new fuckery comes in, okay? And we ain't got time for that, especially not now, because this is a quick blick. You see how quickly you move through that energy. And they're calling in one more card, and it's like two of them. Take it right off the top. And that's sea otter transformation. Transform the energy around you. This is very Piscean, so for those of you who feel led, check out the Pisces reading or check out the Pisces area of your chart and see what planets are there and look them up. Find out what it is. Find out what's going on in Pisces for you. Like me, there's nothing. But that doesn't mean there's nothing. That's my Cola. So it is my North Star. It is my guiding light. It's how I always find my way home. Yeah, I'm living life right up with you. Thank you for that, Scorpio. Okay. So this otter's looking to make contact with you, to restore your playfulness, no longer having the guise of playfulness, of being fun, of just that, but literally owning the skin, fully embodying it, having the maneuverability to navigate that realm. You're not like a fish out of water here, you see? You return to yourself. You become yourself again. Okay, I'm having to set it aside because I know I'm going to be moving these. Well, dang it. And that brings in, so that's 18, and they're talking about that has to do with the controlling your emotions, because you are playful and lighthearted, and they're saying you do deserve that. You are worthy of that freedom of your spirit, and as you let freedom ring, oh, that's what they're talking about, the space we're in. As you let freedom ring, watch the wealth pour in, watch the prosperity pour in, watch the unfoldment of time and energy and space and all that you lost and shed and whatever come back in a new form, not overburdening you or weighing you down, in a time-wise fashion. Just like when you're hungry, there's the new meal you get to eat, and you're just wow for me, and you're getting this excitement of life as life is bathing you with its appreciation. And that brings in a quality seahorse, that brings in the justice that needed to be served to restore the desolation. Remember the desolation that was going on here, the extraction that came out of your very soul. You leveraged your own soul. You double mortgaged your own soul in hopes that you would make it. You paid the ultimate price, Scorpio. Your mind, your hair, your covering is your destiny. You got rid of everything except your bond to your truth. Hallelujah. Ring them bells. So with this justice, it brings in clarity of judgment. It brings in this clarity of perception. You see the double X there? That's what it's talking about here. Remember the challenges of the mirror? Like before, you couldn't see because there was something blocking the way. Like that fire, that smoke screen, the lies, the shroud of lies that had been spoken over you and around you, and the proof and the evidence from mishaps and like this type energy, right? But what could you do? You didn't have your own head. No matter how much you lived out of your heart, trying to win over your head, it wouldn't happen. But that's the thing, your heart became so pure. It wasn't desolate, it was purified. Thank you for your pure heart. That's why you're able to share with such clarity and truth. I love you. So now you have this judgment. Now you have the resurrection power. Why? Because when you've lived through eternal death and you break the shroud of eternity around it, because death is but a moment. It is not this, it's like a flat blip, a dot. It's not a sphere. And so you destroy its sphere of influence, and not just on your life, but on the life of others. They're having me hold it in this hand. This is the hand of potential, okay? It's my left hand. They're having you destroy it over others because you have brought in the ancient flag of truth, the one that harnesses the red and the white magic in the proper proportions to leave the clarity. It's funny that y'all didn't want this in the X marks the spot, in the cross, in the plus sign. You had a bigger story to tell. And that's when it returns to the sun. That's when the sun begins to shine again. When you see the effect and the impact that has on the lives of others, because it destroyed you so vehemently that just getting back what you lost is not enough to restore your soul. Because remember, you mortgaged your soul like twice over in order to get here. So you lived in death so long that now the accompaniment of life, the inundation of life, the overwhelm of life, and overflow of life coming in, it's budding and blooming out so greatly, like the Garden of Eden is spreading across the earth. The gardens of Babylon are spreading across the earth, and it's rewarding and bringing life to all those that you come in contact, whether face to face or even just the ground that you tread on, love. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so putting that over here, that brings us into the Page of Cups. That actually doesn't bring us into the Page of Cups. It brings the Page of Cups into us. This is that lifeline. This is that new connection to heaven. This is the waters eternal. And can't no fire stand up to this. This is the land of abundance. This is the land of plenty. And that's the thing. The wildfires that spread across, they spread across in arid or dry regions. You moist, baby. If you don't like that word, plug your ears. You're moist. You're moist. You're succulent. You're juicy. All right? That's what's coming in here. And it's neat because underneath it, you might want to check out Virgo read, because they had this, man, they swiped it straight up in the beginning. And it's resonating along the lines of the sun and the harvest, okay? So if you're wanting more fleshing out of this, like you're buzzing and vibrating when this comes to a wrap up, go there and check that out as well, okay? But see, this is the amount of abundance. This is a cluster of the stars that came down. This is heaven's award and rewards for you. Remember, when you survive this, and what's neat, it ain't just what's here, y'all. They're making me tell you, remember the vine. Remember the branches. You are planted. Okay? This soil has survived. This soil is so incredibly fertile because of the mass consumption, because of the desolation, because of what you have endured and been through. You're everlasting. You're everlasting what? No death. You're everlasting joy, everlasting peace, everlasting life, everlasting bounty and fruitfulness. You're in the full cycle of the full scope of life. You are life's darling. You are life's preciousness, male or female, it doesn't matter. You're the one that life has stars in its eyes when life gazes upon you, that the heart of life just pours forth in love and adoration and appreciation for who you are, not because you got it right, because you didn't. You couldn't have gotten it right. It's eternal death. Who gets that right? Okay. But you survived, and somehow, hope against hope, you came out. You came out, even with just a straw on your back. You came out because you were like, let this stand and serve as my testimony that even after it all, I still believe. I feel like church up in here. Is there preaching going on? I'm like, the choir should be like, whoo, and the robes just are flowing. I don't know what church it is, but it's the church of love, the church of life, the church of hallelujah for you, Scorpio. And then that quickly brings in this new wise fox, which that serves as the death card in the mystical dream tarot. But we'll get to that in a second. It comes racing in. Now, this is about life, this blessing, this opportunity overtaking you. It's going to chase you down. There's so many of them. Look at it. Because that's just when it is in the scope of the lens, the scope of the camera. This is just what you can and cannot see coming. There is more. There is more. There is more times 4. Let me tell you. It's got some good old Mercury energy going on there in Sagittarius. So, oh, baby, be looking forward to it. Remember that flume, that slide that we were talking about? These next few months that we're going on into? You talk about progress being certain. You're going to transition rapidly because no one would ever. You can never adjust to live in this state. That's why it killed you and killed you and killed you. You couldn't rectify it in your mind. You couldn't adapt and adopt those principles. You couldn't, no matter what. Okay? Even though you were all alone, even though you were left out in the cold, even though you were left behind with nothing, stripped bare. But that was the purity of the heart. You passed the purity of the heart. And that has brought you into this wise fox. That is the thing, that wise fox and the cherub has come on in to lure you away from this old death dirge, this old dance, and saying, you don't have to do this anymore. Let's move on forward. Your curiosity is taking you in a different direction now, because remember, the imagination came in. The imagination came in to be restored, okay? To be reconnected. That means for you to be connected, either they've just tapped straight into your heart, or now your head's back on your shoulders. But either way, your head will be back. If it's not back already, no worries on that, my friend. But so the imagination is there. Maybe you'll even imagine your new head, your new authority, your new dreams, all these things coming in around you and being like, yes, please. You want some special sauce on that. So with that, I want to get one more card. One more Mary L. Because the Seven of Cups was over here, and now this is the energy carrying us out. Carrying us through, actually. In your case, Scorpio. Yeah. You need some sleep. That's part of the restoration. There's been like this hyperdrive going on you in the midst of this. That's the energy that ties it all together. Sweet dreams are made of this. Okay? Who had a mind to disagree? So go to sleep. Allow that restoration of your cells. Allow that peace and quiet now that things have been calming down. Now that judgment is in. Now that you see yourself clearly. You don't have to work for this anymore. Everything that's coming is not works-based. It's worth-based. You're worthy. And not like you did it to earn it, because who could endure death for that? It's the accolades of life, is because you are still here. You are a true testament of life. So it's coming. It's coming. Just open the doors of your soul when you sleep, because you're in a safe space. Remember, you're protected. Right? You've mastered your emotions. Hey, Scorpio, I love you. Leave those comments down below. Let me know what's going on. I'm going to join you on the other side of this lens, and maybe I'll leave my own comment myself. So check in if you want to see. Thank you for putting up with this crazy hair, because I know Scorpio is a little more refined than this, but you love me anyway. I appreciate that about you. Stop by again real soon. Bye, love.